looks at the last shot to tie it here if you're Philadelphia. Trying to force overtime. Here is Curry, puts it up, and no good! And Atlanta wins it! The Hawks even this series at 2 apiece.
The Hawks have life, and if you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan, you have concerns about your all-star big man, Joel Embiid. Post-game coverage here on Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T 5G. Kyle Korver in the house tonight, along with Steve Smith. I'm Matt Weiner. The Hawks outscore Philly by 16 in the second half, and they finish the game on a 9-2 run. We'll get into Embiid and what went wrong for Philadelphia down the stretch, but for the two of you, what went right for Atlanta here in the second half that gives them life 2-2 now, heading into a Game 5?
Well, I just thought they showed a lot of grit. I think you're watching the game and you're watching the second quarter about midway through, and you thought maybe this series might be over. And so for them to keep their composure, to come out and get the stops that they needed. I think we talked before the game saying they were going to have a hard time stopping Philly, but they held them to 100 points. Obviously, Embiid, we're not sure exactly what happened with him in the second half, but give them a whole lot of credit.
Yeah, and I look at it, if you don't turn the basketball over, you give and they prevailed. He knocked down his free throws, and that last 6 seconds, Kyle, I don't know what was going on. I didn't know whether I for some reason I thought Shake Milton, he was just bringing it up. They had called timeout because no one picked him up. He could have had a walk-in three. Didn't look at the basket, but unfortunately for the 76ers, they lost this one, and this one could be huge. This is a turning point. All losses are, but this one just looks like the momentum because of the injury to Joel Embiid. He doesn't look good. And that play right there, I thought it should have more spacing, but they got away with a lot of careless plays down the stretch.
I say that was a great hit there. I mean, Trey had I think Forkman there, and probably had a good ISO opportunity. They sent the double team. They scrambled out of it really well. I mean, Atlanta didn't really have a good look there. Ended up with a turnover. They certainly had their chances right here. Philly did to get a bucket. But, crazier things have happened in the playoffs. But there's certainly a bunch of teaching points for both coaches to go over in the film session now.
Final minutes of this game will not be sent to the Basketball Hall of Fame. This is final 6 seconds here. It's a three-point game. A, if you're the Hawks, why are you fouling? B, if you're Shake Milton, you got to shoot the ball.
You got to at least look at it. I mean, and Kyle, for me, is in all of these situations, the first thing I thought is you go up there and you show shot. You get a guy up in the air, maybe you can get to the three-point line. But I thought John Collins was definitely uncomfortable guarding Shake Milton out there, but he was looking for Seth Curry coming off.
Yeah, it felt like they were mismatched. That they were probably, he thought he was guarding someone else. There was some miscommunication, and then you're trying to find someone. I thought Seth had a great look. I mean, for a double pump, it was lined up. It was strong, off the back rim. That very easily could have gone in.
I want to get your thoughts on what you saw from Embiid in the second half. Obviously, he's dealing with this meniscus tear in his right knee. That's been true since the first-round series against the Washington Wizards. We've seen him at times appear to be hobbled a little bit. He's even grabbed the left knee at times during this series. Whatever it was in the second half, he was not himself. He didn't move particularly well. He didn't look energetic. He was 0 of 12 from the field. I'm not asking either of you to play doctor, but what did you see from Embiid in the second half?
Yeah, it just didn't feel like he had his lift. It felt like the first several games of the season, of the series, he was really nimble. He was looking really shifty, and it wasn't there the second half tonight. And was he tired? Was that his knee was hurting him? I'm not sure, but I think the thing you really think about, and that Sixers fans are probably nervous about right now, is there was hope that you could win tonight, go back home, and take it out in 5 games, and then maybe get a game or a few days before the next series. But if this goes 6 games, and maybe it goes 7 games, he's not going to get that rest that he wants for the next series if they get there.
And I looked at it, that one play is jump hook. You saw that? I mean, it was a play, and I think in the second half, he went up for the jump hook. Kyle, he had no lift.
None, yeah.
Not at all. And I think he tried to throw the left arm out to just get some space. And for me, I thought if you're hurting that way, just try to post up, back people down, become a decoy, make them double. But I think for him, he was trying to score, and they just didn't have it. Right now, there's some concerns right now for the 76ers because you have this young Hawks team right now, Kyle. They have confidence. didn't shoot it well. Trae Young didn't shoot it well. Bogdanovich, and you still get a win. I think they have some confidence going into Philly.
Well, and if he hits that layup in the final few seconds of this game, maybe Philly escapes with a win anyway. That's the easy shot he's going to get all night. But again, 0 of 12 from the field in the second half. He had a couple of turnovers in the final few minutes as well. And again, we can't speculate on his health, but he didn't look right. And given his injury history, not only recently but throughout his career, you worry about, his ability to bounce back Wednesday night, 2 nights from now, at home in a Game 5, because he has been the factor in this series so far. When he's been on the floor for the most part, Philly has dominated. Even tonight with him hobbled, he played even, as in ±0, when he was on the floor. That's how much of a factor he's been.
And he had 21 rebounds,
yeah,
which is incredible. I thought, Tobias Harris should have got, more touches just because Joel Embiid wasn't going well. Probably should have played through him a little bit more, but that's how talented Joel Embiid is. 21 rebounds, still was kind of a force. You still had the double team. Just unfortunately for them, they just couldn't come through. They don't have a lot of guys when you have defensive Thibault out there and Simmons to be able to shoot the 3-ball.
No, it's going to be interesting to see what they do going forward. I mean, I think that's the thing with Embiid. You tend to get hurt, or if you're nicked up a little bit, when you get tired, that's when things get worse, right? And so I think he's been so dominant, it's your natural tendency to just keep on giving him the ball, But is that what's wearing him down? I don't know. Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward, because they need to keep spreading the ball around. Obviously, Seth has been shooting the ball great all series. Furkman, the same. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
On the other side, Atlanta, has struggled to shoot the ball, as you mentioned, Smitty, under 37%. Trae Young has a new postseason career high with 18 assists in this game, just 2 turnovers. He scored 25 on 8 of 26 shooting. But Kyle is a veteran of so many playoff series. What can Trae Young learn about himself on a night like this, where he didn't score 35 on those 6 shots, and still comes away with a win?
Well, I think one of the things that Trae is really learning is how to make his teammates better. He's always been a good passer, but I think, on a night like tonight, when the ball's not going in with the tight playoff game, he made guys better. He really set up guys really well. To come into a playoff game and get 18 assists, I mean, the lobs that hadn't been there earlier, this little dump down pass right here, he was getting into the paint, making good plays, finding shooters. He had a great game, and if you're going to be a great player in the league, you got to be able to impact the game even when you're not shooting the ball well.
Yeah, I loved it, because the attention to details that the Philadelphia 76ers are paying to Trae Young with the size and obviously clogging up the paint, he's not turning it over. That's the one thing. He missed some shots, but if you look at it, if he gets going with the 26 shots, he's made 4 or 5 of them, then he has one of those